Oh, right there. That was a bell. The bell for all. Hey, I needed some more Brittany Fox there, Dean Packard. That's the bell for office hours. Josh Tabat, principal of Memorial Pathway Academy in Garland ISD, Garland, USA. Ready to rock and roll, not only with Brittany Fox, but with you. We are here for office hours, a 20-minute problem-solving show. These are all real-life examples that have happened. And I ask you, hey, principal in North Dakota, hey, Iowa or Idaho, what would you do with a scenario today? But without further ado, if you are in Alaska or in Hawaii, if you're in Maine or in Florida or anywhere in the 48 middle, we need you because you know what? I promise you, you will face a scenario like this. Take it away, Dean Packard.
Iron sharpens iron. Hey, Josh Tovar and crew tonight. Great to have you all with us. We are here for another office hours. We're going to get a little better together. Nobody on this panel knows. Well, they do now what the scenario is because Josh just sent it out in preparation for tonight. Hey, everybody, I'm Dean Packard, one of the co-founders of Unlock the Middle, and we are just ready to rock and roll once again. Josh Tovar, take it over. Let's go. Let's have some fun.
Let's get some knowledge out there. Who has the street cred? These guys got the street cred. So let's make sure we introduce them real quick, where your name is and where you're at. Start up there with that Nick guy right there, the Saturday Talk.
Oh, yeah, the Saturday Talk. Nick from New Jersey, Academy Street School Elementary in Dover, New Jersey, elementary principal. Pumped to be here with you guys.
Love it. Over there, that Jim guy up there.
Jim Dutcher, principal of Lake Ridge Middle School in Northern Virginia, Prince William County.
Woo! Mr. Apple guy found his camera right now.
I think that's you, John.
Jimmy, it'll be you, John.
All right. John Hurix, assistant principal in Irving ISD here in Texas. Glad to be here tonight.
Awesome. And the man that's all over social media.
Hi, I'm Chuck Moss. You've probably seen the Don't Be Afraid to Be Awesome hashtag. I am the Director of Special Projects in Dinwiddie County in Virginia. I've been a middle school principal, elementary principal, currently serving as administrative support at a high school, doing some AP kind of stuff there. So kind of utility player.
All right. So we got to get to know our street cred a little bit more. Let's see if they know what the answer is. Hey, Dean Packard. Are you ready?
Well, you're starting with me.
Space Invaders or Pac-Man?
Oh, Space Invaders.
Nick.
Space Invaders, 100%.
Jim.
Space Invaders.
Chuck Moss.
You got to go with Space Invaders, man, the original.
John.
Got to go with the consensus. Space Invaders.
You all got it right. It's been a while. Space Invaders.
First time we ever got that right.
All right. Wrong show. That's the red zone. Wrong show, sir. All right, here we go.
What a wise guy.
Here we go. Best one-hit wonder. Iran or 8675309. Jim.
8675309.
John.
8675309.
Chuck Moss.
Now, I would have gone with Come On Eileen, but since I've got to choose, 8675309.
Nick.
All the above from those guys, following right in their footsteps.
Dean.
8675309.
You all are wrong. It's Iran. They even started a hair.
No,
hair
you know what? Right? You know we're right because all of us know the number. All of us know the number. That's how we're right.
True story. True story.
I might reevaluate that answer, but no, the hairdo. It all described the 80s, baby. Some of us are losing it, so you know what I'm talking about. And the last one, here we go. From the commercials. Tastes great, less filling, or what's up? Chuck.
Hey, I grew up on Taste Great, Less Filling.
Dean Packard.
What's up, man? Come on.
Nick.
Tastes great, less filling.
Jim.
What's up?
John.
What's up?
The answer is what's up. Exactly.
Come on.
All right. We're almost in consensus here. All right. Hey, America, if you're watching this on the rebroadcast, remember, like it and share it so that algorithm spreads out this scenario because you will run into a scenario like this. So here we go, America. What would you do? Chime in with your answers. Here, I'm going to read it to you guys. You are about to have lunch. It always happens when we're about to have lunch.
Right.
And one of your attendance clerks enters your office crying and said, "This S profanity has to stop. She is unprofessional, and I'm going to my union and HR." You calm her down and ask her what happened. She tells you that she has been in a confrontation with the front office clerk for a while, who's always gossiping about her in the lunchroom. She tells you that today she heard that she was recording her talking to the counselor's clerk in the counselor's office. And she tells you that that was the final straw. You tell her, write down the statement and you'll investigate. You look into the front office cameras and you confirm the front office clerk was following her, was following the attendance clerk with her cell phone, recording her on video. In the cameras, you see that a student comes up to her while she was recording her and brushes him away to not interrupt her. The other clerk in the office confirmed because she saw it happening. Hey, America. Hey, Chuck Moss. What do you do?
Well, if we take it back to the idea that it's all about the kids, everything starts from what's best for kids. If there was a moment when you brushed off a student, that gives you your gateway. That gives you your opportunity to say what was so important that you brushed that student off. That student is why we're here. You brushed them off. What were you doing that was so important? I'm good.
Nick?
Yeah.
Nick?
Yeah, Chuck hits it right on the nail. It's the students first. No matter what, no thing has to come above the students. We are professionals in this field. She can go to the union. She can go to HR. There will be an investigation. However, you turn your back to that student, and that's the most important thing in front of my face.
Jim?
You guys are both wrong. I'm finishing my lunch.
No tears yet.
What? Wait, what is lunch? I didn't know we got to eat those.
Right.
No, I think both guys hit the nail on the head, right? We have a student that's being brushed off. We have a student that obviously needs something and is getting turned away because this person is following someone around on their phone. It opens that door to be able to ask some more questions about why did you brush them off? Why were you following around a coworker with your cell phone? Help me to understand what was going on and what was so important that you needed to dismiss one of our students so that you could follow your coworker around with a cell phone.
Dean Packard?
You know, I couldn't say it any better than what the guys have already said so far. Obviously, kids are our first priority. There's no doubt about it. I'd like to think I have a better understanding of how the front office staff is working together collaboratively. So be out in front of that. But again, we work in the human business and things pop up. And we have to do what we have to do to ensure that we get calmness back into our workplace. So again, I'd address the child situation first, and I'd try to dig a little bit deeper. But to Jim's point, I would be eating my lunch because I'd make sure the fact that it isn't an immediate rush, and I'd take my time with, like I do with everything else, to ensure that I dot my I's and cross my T's with all of it.
John?
So after getting the statement from the first clerk, I want to address the situation with the student. You know, as everyone else said, our students are our first priority. So we can't brush them off because that's the reason why we're there. Secondly, we have to talk about professional communication. Once I get her statement, then I eat my lunch. And then I go back and talk with the other clerk to figure out what's going on with her, following this person around with the cell phone. And once again, professional behavior. And then if we can't figure it out, we need to get both ladies together, figure out what is causing the issue so we can get to the bottom of it so that it won't be an issue going forward.
So let's address that, what you just brought up, John. I think that's a crucial aspect of it. And we all have different years of experience, different backgrounds, different levels of education in regards to elementary, middle school, and high school. And obviously this is a high school scenario, but it happens at all levels. How would you handle this? We're talking to a first-year assistant principal in Iowa, okay? Not what you've gone through already. So how are you going to address this with the two ladies at odds with each other? Because if you're saying there's no gossip in your school, that's a lie. So I'll call you a liar right in your face, right here in front of everybody. And you know that there's a lot of stuff that happens in public education, which is the dark things we keep undercover. So how would you address this? Because that's a common thing that a lot of administrators refuse to face and have those awkward conversations. How do you address this at the adult level, Nick?
Yeah, you got to get that one-on-one conversation. You got to get the calmness. You have to be able to bring that calmness into those discussions. I kind of want to get everyone out of that room. So if I got to give up my office for a little bit, if I got to take a walk with each person, get them out of the building, talk to my assistant principal or my guidance counselor to let them handle some things, but kind of just bring that level of intensity around, because we don't want our kids to see it. That's the main thing. If the kids walk into that office and see the toxic that's going on and the frustration and the anger and parents coming in to pick up children and so forth, we got to get someone out of that office between those two people and try to calm down the solution. So maybe giving up my office, bringing them in. Hey, you stay in here for a little bit. I'm going to take a walk, but kind of delegate some things to the other staff to help out in that situation.
Thank you, Nick. John.
Once again, that's part of what we do, is having crucial conversations. So once again, talking to the ladies one-on-one, getting both sides of the story, trying to see if they can come up to a conclusion, some kind of agreement. If we can't get it resolved at our level, then we need to go to HR to figure out what needs to happen going forward. Yes,
sir. Chuck Moss.
Right. And I think that we again take it around to how are we serving kids? You watch that video and you see the impact it had on a child at that moment. But so how many other kids have come into the office, have been aware of that? How many teachers have walked through and they've given a sideways glance or that kind of thing, and talk about how do you serve? If we're here to serve the teachers and the students, are we doing that by sniping at each other? And then, you may need to have that HR investigation, that sort of thing. But again, you're letting them know, I'm doing this from a place of, this is not personal. I'm about the kids first. I'm about the teachers, and we're here to support them. And if we're doing this, we can't support them.
Jim.
So we are a restorative practices school. So we really talk about relationships and relationship building, community building. And just like we would pull two students in together, eventually, once I think the guys have talked about getting statements from all the players involved, so kind of what you're walking into, and then bringing the parties together and having that kind of relationship building conversation where you're asking what happened. Tell me what happened. Tell me, now that you have an idea of what happened, what have you thought about since? Because sometimes people in that moment, right, that person who's walking around filming in the moment is thinking that that's the right thing to do. Once they've had a little bit of time to think about it and process and be able to go back and be like, I can't believe that I just dismissed a student because of whatever this issue is, to be able to kind of think through that and talk about it. And then for both of them to be able to talk about how whatever this scenario is that's going between them that's caused this conflict, right, how has that impacted you, so that they can start feeling a little bit of empathy and then try to build that relationship back up so that we can move forward in a positive direction. That's the hope. If it's not moving in a positive direction, if it's not going the way we want it to go, and then like we've said, then you're talking about HR and getting other folks involved to try to mediate the situation.
Thank you, Jim. Dean Packard.
We spend a lot of time at the beginning of the year talking about our faculty handbook and reviewing what the do's and don'ts are, professional behavior. And I think it's important to have checkoffs with that, because to Jim's point, relationships is the center of everything that we do, whether it's with our students, whether it's with our staff, or whether it's with our community in any capacity. So there's a level of expectation that is extremely clear, and we want to make sure that we drive that home. we don't have an HR in our building, so we are HR. So it makes it a little more difficult.
Wow, yeah.
So we have to make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's and make sure that we do take statements from everybody. But at the end of the day, you meet those situations head on. You don't shy away from them, because the more you shy away from them, the more toxicity that builds. I've become, over the years, and I hate to say this, a master of dealing in conflict. We have to, because what we do is we triage. We're dealing with human beings. So we take our time. We always, as Chris Starcheski would say, that we're always soft on people and hard on issues. If you maintain that type of a decorum during any type of investigation, guess what happens? You generally get to an end result that's pretty good. And again, that's what we aim to do each and every time. So that's about where I stand right now.
Closing thoughts on this issue. Closing thoughts, Chuck Moss.
If we're going to serve, again, if we're going to serve, how we're going to serve. So what's our reason for being there? Maybe find that out from everybody. Make sure they know our reason for being there. Put a big picture of all the kids in the building somewhere in that conference or in that front office somewhere where they can see it and remember this is why we're here. And the school I'm at right now has a sign in it that says, but how will it affect the children? That's our biggest question. How will your behavior affect the children? And as the leader, it's your job to make sure it's going to affect them in a positive way. You got to have those crucial conversations.
John.
We're in the people business. We're in the building with each other for 180 days with the kids. So the adults in the building have to set the example. And, resolving conflict is part of what we do. It's going to happen when people work together. We just have to know how to work through it and get along and be professional.
Love it. Jim.
As these guys have said, we're in a relationship business, but at the end of the day, we have to act as professionals and focus on the most important thing, and that's the kids. And I think getting everybody on the same page with that and reestablishing expectations is going to be critical in this situation.
Nick.
Time heals everything. So daily check-ins, with these people, making sure that we're doing our job. If we're showing what leadership is in a building and how to work with people, and we demonstrate it on a daily basis, it'll take that time to heal that issue. And when we start checking in on them and hopefully bringing them together with events in the building or holidays and so forth, things start to dwindle down.
Mr. Dean Packard.
Administrative team needs to model what we think is the exemplar for how to deal with people and situations. But that will start to trickle down. But also spend a lot of time with identifying your why and your purpose with your staff, and have that talk all the time. Make that embedded in all the things you write about. The more you do and the more that's tied back to a strategic plan or a district plan, the easier it is to say, nothing I did got you in this situation. Always remember that, so we can help you grow as a result of this moment. So again, everything's a teachable moment. I always go back to the coaching side of this. And if we look at it that way and don't get too high, stay low, stay in an entrance place where you can actually help people understand, good things come up.
And so you all know, in a nutshell, one individual was placed on leave and never came back.
Whoa, you put someone on leave for that?
So just
Whoa.
saying, some individual never came back to be part of the team. And that's what we have. But it's not over. Dean Packard is not over.
Hold on, time out a second.
Not over.
You get a resignation out of that? Wow.
One team member did not come back. Dean Packard, it's not over. It is not over. It's how you dot your I's and how you cross your T's. This Sunday, the flagship show, 7 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Eastern, SEL show with Ms. Wendy Turner will be joining us for the flagship show this coming Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern, and the following Thursday, it's the Red Zone, a leadership show this coming Thursday. Don't miss the show. We love you. Thank you for being here. Everybody here, thank you for joining us. Fantastic Four with Shika, with Coach Hurt, and Principal Cafele. Love you. See you. And we're exactly at the 20-minute mark. Take us home there, Dean Packard.
Hey, guys, I want to thank you, Nick, very much. Thank you very much, Jim. Thanks, Chuck. Thanks, John. And always, Josh, great to have you with us. Again, coming together like this and solving these types of issues only makes us a little bit stronger and a little bit better together. We appreciate you all being with us tonight. Everybody out there, make sure you have a great rest of the week with your kids, because they deserve the best you possible. Peace out, guys. Continue to drive strong.